What's going on, guys? Mimic here with another banger video. This one is highly requested. I get DMs on this in game, in Discord, on my YouTube videos. I get hit up on this all the time, so I wanted to finally clear the air and give you guys an updated best traits video for melee DPS. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the armor pieces as well, so that you guys can have a build in mind, or at least some type of guidance when it comes to what builds, what armors melee DPS should be looking for when you guys start playing Throne and Liberty in NA. With that being said, just want to thank all the people that like my videos, all the people that constantly comment across all my videos, and all the people who have given me a sub. Thank you so much for the continued support. Let's jump in. So in this video, like I said, we're talking about the best traits. Right now, traits are constantly evolving. All right, there's going to be metas that come into the game that change, and there's going to be things that, you know, happen in the game that cause kind of the meta to switch a little bit. And they definitely did 100% change since I started playing the game. So I wanted to give you guys an updated video on it since it did change. Now let's cover it from the top, and we're going to work all the way to the bottom. Now for melee DPS, you have a few different options. Right now, it's under my impression that the best option for your headpiece, okay, for melee DPS, in my opinion, is going to be the General Fury's headgear. Okay, now you can get this headgear very easily by just doing your secret dungeons and doing the Cave of Destruction. This is one of my favorite destruction caves and the boss caves, and you can get it here, the General Fury's headgear. Okay, at base level, it's going to give you 1 perception, it's going to give you some stun chance, and it's going to give you that max health, which is really nice. Now what I would recommend is, when you get this headpiece, you can see if you go to the trait list here, these are all the traits that the headpiece can get. The best in slot, without a doubt, traits for melee is going to be melee evasion, max health, and cooldown speed. Okay, the melee evasion is kind of you know, there's always going to be those evasion builds in MMOs. It's kind of like a thing, right? Everyone knows about evasion builds and all this, you know, all these different builds that are real niche type. But from what I am seeing, melee evasion is extremely strong, especially right now, because they did update the way that the evasion works. They pretty much gave all classes double the evasion, and the people that are hard capped at like 1500 plus evasion, you literally cannot hit them at all. Like, they dodge every attack, at least every melee attack. Now magic and range is still going to be able to hit them pretty easily, but in a melee fight with them, you're going to have trouble landing your stuns, you're going to have trouble CCing them, you're going to have trouble actually just hitting them normally with your skills. They're going to evade a lot of those attacks. So you want melee evasion. Anytime you can get melee evasion on any of your items, get it. It's going to be like your #1 priority stat outside max health. Okay, now not all helmets can get cooldown speed, but anytime you can get cooldown speed on an item, prioritize it, because the faster your cooldowns are, the more your skills are up and the more damage you can do. Okay, so melee evasion, you can see here mine has ranged evasion. I still need to get melee evasion on mine. Oh, I'm sorry, it does have melee evasion. I need to change mine to max health. The ranged evasion, I need to get that and put that to max health. Eventually I'll do it, I just haven't done it now. So starting with the head, if you're melee and you're assassin type, or maybe you're just like sword and shield, a dagger, or sword and shield greatsword, any kind of melee, I would still get the General Fury's headgear, and I'll talk a little bit more on why. You can see obviously it's going to give you that perception, which is going to help you land your CCs and stuns. It's going to give you that stun chance, which is going to increase the rate of which you stun, and then it's going to give you that nice max health there. That's going to increase how much health you have, which is going to give you a little bit of tankiness and survivability in PvP. So that is the headpiece there. Okay, melee evasion, max health, cooldown speed. Those are the top 3 you want, period. Now moving on to the chest piece, I went with this chest piece. It is the Transcendental Saint Raiment. You can get this by farming at Pure Light. I believe if you go here to Pure Light, you can come up here, and I believe it is the Mitrins or the Kotoris. No, not the Kotoris. Is it the black boars? Yep. You kill these little boars, they have a chance of dropping it. Okay, this is a solid armor piece. Now It's up in the air if you want to go up this route. Again, you're going to get some more perception, you're going to get more max health, and then you are going to get that stamina regen, which is really good. And same thing with this, you're going to be wanting to get that melee evasion, you're going to want to be getting max health, and you're going to want to be getting buff duration. All right, the buff duration is good because the more buff duration you have, the longer your buffs are going to last on you. And that includes your passives. So any kind of passive that you have on your weapon, any kind of passive that you get from using one of your passive skills that you have, these passive skills, it's all going to increase the amount of time that those stay on you. So you want buff duration. Anytime you can get buff duration, you want to 100% be getting that. And obviously you want max health every time you can get it. Get the max health, and anytime you can get melee evasion, stack that as much as you can as a melee DPS. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Now, like I said, it's up in the air if you want to grab this top and then get the set. If you see at the very bottom there, the set of 2 pieces is going to give you the cooldown 7.5, which is so strong for melee DPS, because if your cooldowns are faster, then like I said, you're going to be doing all your DPS much quicker. You're going to have cooldowns are going to be like maxed out, and you're going to be able to stealth quicker. You're going to be able to proc your poison quicker. You're going to be able to do stuns more often. It's just going to give you a stronger DPS presence on the battlefield. Now I'm going up the Transcendental Saint Raiment, and then I'm going to get the pants that I still need to get. The pants are dropped from this dungeon here called Tyrants. They're right here, Transcendental Salvation pants. You can see here they give you 3 wisdom, they're going to give you some damage reduction, which is nice, and then they're going to give you some collision resistance as well. And then you can see there at the very bottom, once I do get them, I'm going to get that 7.5 cooldown speed. Okay, so that's the top and the pants. Now let's talk a little bit about the boots. So the boots, I went with the general charge boots because, like I said, when you get the 2-piece general charge boots and the General Fury's headgear, you're going to take advantage of the melee heavy attack chance 150. Now the boots and the helmet, in my opinion, it's non-negotiable. You have to get the 2-piece set, because getting that extra 150% melee heavy attack chance is going to be the difference between you hitting for 4K or 8K. It's up to you. You know what I mean? I think getting the general charge boots is going to be the play, but again, you can mix and match your set and see what you like better. On the boots, let me show you what the best in slot traits are for the boots are. They're going to be the movement speed. That's probably top 1 on the general charge boots, the movement speed, simply because the faster you move, the quicker you can catch up to people. And in this game, speed kills, honestly. The faster you are, the quicker you're going to be able to catch up to people. You'll be able to get closer to them so that you can hit them with them stuns. You're going to get closer to them so you can hit them with your shadow strike. And ultimately, you're going to be able to catch people. So you want movement speed, you want melee evasion, and you probably want ranged evasion. That's going to be top 3. If you're having mana issues, you could go to like movement speed, max mana, and melee evasion. But for sure, melee evasion and movement speed. If this thing had max health on it, it would be the max health, but they don't have max health on these boots. So you'll have to choose if you want the endurance or the ranged evasion. I would probably go with ranged evasion. Evasion is going to be always good, but always melee evasion, guys. Always. And then movement speed on these boots for sure. Okay, you can see the boots come with a 4.3 movement speed already at base level 7, and then they're going to give you plus 5 strength there, so that's really good. It's going to give you some health there. So it doesn't come with the max health trait, but it does give you strength plus 5, which does give you health in general. So that's what I would recommend for melee DPS. As far as the cloak, I have this cloak. It is definitely not best in slot. The best in slot cloak probably is going to be, let's take a look here. It's probably going to be the Hermit's Shroud. The Hermit Shroud gives you that ranged evasion there. It's going to give you some magic evasion and then weakened resistance. And as far as the Hermit Shroud traits, we can come here and look. These are the traits that it comes with. I'm going to show here. Yep. Skill damage resistance on the Hermit Shroud is going to be top 1. Because you're going to have that resistance. That's a flat base of resistance for all skill damage that hits you. That's anything that hits you, you're going to have a plus 20 resistance on it. And I believe since it's purple, it goes up to plus 80. So you would have 4 stacks of this, and then you're going to want max health. And then the third slot would probably be debuff duration. So if you can get the Hermit Shroud, damage resistance top 1, max health top 2, debuff duration top 3. You're gonna be debuffed for a shorter period if you get that. Now, obviously, I don't have that. I have this Assassin's Cloak yet, just because it's so hard to trade out the purples, and I don't want to switch it until I know that I can trade it out really good. But you can see on mine, I've got the critical hit, I've got that melee evasion plus 130, which is nice. I've got skill damage resistance on it, weaken resistance, and max health, which is going to be really good there. Now, what I should have done on this one, of course, I didn't know. Instead of weaken resistance, I would much rather have debuff duration on it instead of the weaken resistance. But again, you live and you learn, and you know, you look at what the metas are, and you kind of go based off that. You change it. So, but I do have the max health, which is best in slot, and I have the skill damage resistance, which is also best in slot. The only thing I'm missing on this is the debuff duration. Okay, now the belt, arguably probably one of the best belts you can get you know, in the game for melee, is the Duke Magnus belt. This one has the max health 485. It's got the damage reduction plus 11, and then the weaken resistance plus 76. Now, the best in slot for this is going to be the max health. It's going to be the skill damage resistance, and it's going to be the debuff duration. You can see on mine, I've got the debuff duration on there. I have max health on there, and then it rolled with health regen, which is obviously not the best, but as soon as I'm able to, I'm going to get that changed out to the debuff duration, which is going to help me out with debuffs being, you know, not on me as much. That's the top 3 best in slot traits for the Duke Magnus belt. And again, for melee DPS, I would highly recommend getting this belt. If you want to get it, all you got to do is do your dungeons. You come here, go to secret dungeons, and it is the Butcher who drops the belt. There it is right there. Butchers very easily. It's like a 6-7 minute run, very quick to do. You can just farm these over and over and over again and try to get the belt for you so that you can get the right traits there. So that's how you get the belt. And then let's take a look here on your accessories. So your accessories, it's tricky. I don't have the best necklace for melee DPS. I believe there's a better one here. If I go to marketplace and I go to accessories and go to necklace, I believe the best blue necklace that I can get, I think, is this one. No, it's not. Yeah, I gotta see. I feel like I have the best blue one, but like if you're trying to go like max health, you can see here the Seasons Veteran necklace is better for max health, which in my opinion is better than what I have. Anything that you can have max health on as a base stat, you probably want. So this necklace, the Seasoned Veteran necklace, is better than the Guards Endurance necklace. But the reason I have the Guards Endurance necklace is because I had that melee defense and the melee endurance, which I thought was important as I was leveling my tune. But as you can see, you know, there may be some better options there for you. And yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have to choose, probably the Seasoned Veteran necklace is probably the better blue, in my opinion, than the Guards Endurance. And for the necklaces, I think they all pretty much have the same type of traits that you can get. 100%, without a doubt, you're gonna want skill damage boost on it. You can see on my necklace here, I do have skill damage boost. You're also gonna want buff duration for sure, and you're probably gonna want max mana. Mine's a little different. I have skill damage boost, I have weakened chance, and buff duration. Now with weakened chance, there's like no skills that I have that do any kind of weakening. I don't know if my poison does. I don't think my poison does any weakening. I think it just stops. Yeah, it does. It adds a weaken, which is poison. So it's fine, right? Like even the weakened chance here on my necklace, it's gonna make it so that my poisons apply, even though I don't think that there's any kind of negation for the poison unless it's like debuff duration. But I don't think the duration changes anything with chance. So I think the weakened chance on my necklace is actually a wasted trait. So I may change that out, but you know, again, you live and you learn. That's why I'm making this video, so you guys don't make the same mistakes that I do. But on the necklace, definitely you want skill damage boost 100% of the time. You're gonna want buff duration, and you're gonna want either max mana or mana regen, depending on what your mana issues are. Okay. Now for the bracers, same thing. Max health, if you can get the max health. Skill damage resistance, if you can get it, and debuff duration on the bracer. And this bracer here, you can get from the ants right here. You can get it from the ant cave. Okay, so just keep doing your ant caves. You'll get the bracer. Hopefully you get it with max health, which obviously mine did not come with max health. Mine came with collision resistance, which is kind of doo-doo, but it is what it is, right? So try to get the King's Bracer. Hopefully you get the max health there. As far as the rings, I went with the Eternal Ring of Dimension. You can get this ring if you get 20 of the dimension crystals, and every time you do a dungeon you get 1 dimension crystal. You can see here I've got 13 dimension crystals. Once you've got 20 of them, you can use those crystals to roll for this ring, and my ring is pretty good. It's got the max health on there, it's got the skill damage boost. The only thing that the health regen is kind of trash on it, honestly. That's just what it came rolled with. The best in slot outside the health regen is going to be the buff duration again. So you're going to want max health, skill damage boost, and buff duration. This is all for melee, okay? For range it's going to be different, but for melee, if you're playing melee, you want max health, you want skill damage boost, and you want buff duration. You can see on mine, it's got the max health, it's got the skill damage boost, and it's got the health regen, which is not the best. So that's for that ring. My second ring, I'm still using the Lethal Fortune ring. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's got that attack speed 4.9, and it gives me 5 dex, which is like, you need dex as melee DPS. So I haven't been able to switch it out. It does have the max health 450 on there, the weaken chance, and the skill damage boost. And again, the weaken chance, I could probably, instead of that, I would want buff duration. So I'm missing out there. The weaken chance is kind of like a, it's, you know, I need to re-roll it, and I need to get the buff duration. But best in slot, max health, skill damage boost, buff duration. That's what you want for melee DPS. Okay. For weapons, of course, it's going to depend on what you're playing. If you're playing sword and shield, the Chernobog sword is going to be best in slot. You can get the Chernobog sword by doing Chernobyl, or Chernobog, I think is his name. And if you're playing daggers, the Laquarius Thorny Edge is really good. It's going to give you +7 wisdom, +6 perception, +99 critical hit. And you can see there the top 3 best in slot for the daggers, which mine do have, is the hit, the heavy attack chance, and the critical hit. The reason you want to stack hit on your weapons is because you can only have hit on your weapons, and if people are running a lot of melee evasion, you need to have hit on your weapons or you're going to be missing them, plain and simple. So I've got the top 3 best in slot traits there, which are hit, critical hit, and heavy attack chance. On the dagger, I got all 3 there, and on the weapon, it's pretty much the same thing. You want critical hit, you want the heavy attack chance, and then I know mine still has Immortus damage on there, but I would want to change it to hit. It's the same thing: hit, critical hit, and heavy attack chance. That's what you want on your weapons. And then it's the same thing for the swords. This sword can come with different, right? It comes with max health, it comes with heavy attack, critical hit, and hit. This one rolled with max health. And this Karnak's Nether sword, you can get it from the dungeons as well. If you come here, any dungeon you do is going to give you this box, and in that box you can get the Karnak's Nether sword there, which you can see 3rd from the top. So that's what I did. I just did a bunch of dungeons, and it gave me the box, and then it rolled the Karnak's Nether sword with the max health. Now that's just your beginning sword. This is like the first purple sword you're going to get, a sword and shield. Eventually you are going to want to get the Chernobog sword, and let me just show y'all what that looks like here. There should be one on the market. Weapons, sword, Chernobog sword, right here. This is it, Chernobog beheading sword. It's got a really OP passive there. Anytime you block a melee attack, it can land a sleep on the attacker for 3 seconds, and it's every 20 seconds. So every 3 times a minute, if you block someone, you're going to put them to sleep for 3 seconds, which is broken in my opinion. And then it comes with the +3 dex, critical hit, and then of course it's got all the all the traits that you're going to want. It's going to have the critical hit trait, it's going to have the heavy attack trait, it's going to have your hit trait. So that's best in slot for sword and shield, which is a melee. I play both sword and shield, and I play great sword dagger. So sword and shield, great sword, and then great sword dagger. I switch off between, just depending. If I'm calling an event, I play on shield. If I'm just kind of just in the event, I'm not calling, I like to play DPS so that I can get my fix of battling there. But that is the that's the video. On the gloves though, so one thing I didn't cover. On the gloves, it's up to you what you want to do. The gloves are kind of up in the air. It's kind of like, just pick whichever glove you want. In my opinion, I think the best glove, I was looking at them. So obviously the Ghost Wolves aren't bad because they're going to get that attack speed. You're going to get the dex, and you're going to get some evasion there. You would just kind of want to look. The Reaper gloves are obviously really good too, but look how expensive they are. So I think Reapers are probably going to be best in slot for melee. It's going to give you more range, which is good because you're going to be able to attack someone farther from you, even though you're melee, which actually is pretty good. Because you know, people are sometimes faster than you and they can kite you, and then you're not able to auto attack them. So this extra 1.7% range actually is huge. And again, that's at base 0. Once you get it to +6 purple, I'm sure that range goes over 2%. You're going to get the dex and you're going to get that critical hit, which is nice. It's going to depend, whatever, you know, whatever you're feeling on the gloves, right? If you need perception, get gloves that give you perception. If you need more range, get gloves that give you more range. If you need more attack speed, get gloves that give you more attack speed. It's going to be up to you what you get on the gloves. I haven't decided what I'm going to get on my gloves yet. I'm kind of up in the air. I might get something with attack speed. I might get these gloves here. They give me attack speed and perception, which are part of the frenzy general gloves. I don't know yet. I'm still up in the air. So on the gloves, I can't really tell you what's best in slot for melee because I don't have them yet. But for sure, you're going to want General Fury's headgear. You're going to want the Transcendal Saint set for the cooldown speed. And then you're going to want you know, your weapons to have all heavy attack on them. Your rings, make sure you have skill damage boost. On your belt, make sure that you have like max health. Anything you can put max health on. If your item comes with max health, get max health, because the more health you have, the better. That's just kind of what I'm seeing. But that's the video. I wanted to break it down, give you guys an update that melee evasion is huge. If you can get melee evasion on any of your pieces, get it, because it's going to help you stay in the fight longer in a PvP situation. And if you're ever dueling someone for fun, they're never going to be able to hit you because you're going to have so much melee evasion. And if they're not stacking hit on their weapons, literally they can attack you 10 times and hit you like 1 time. So you can beat someone with 2 times your health simply because they're just not able to land anything on you. So that's the video. I hope you guys liked it. Have any questions, throw them in the comment section. If you like the video, smash the like button, and you want to give me some love, all you can do is throw me a sub. I'm shooting more videos, more content for you guys this week. Much love. Thanks for all the support. Till next time, guys. Peace.